Ladies and gentlemen, we meet again, this time on my balcony, the favorite room in my house. We overlook Jerusalem. Living here in Efrat is really amazing. Let me tell you, this week's Parashat Tazri HaMetzora, I think has got a lot to do with this fantastic day of Yom Ha'atzmaut. And let me explain. It says in the Parasha, Ki tavo el eretz Canaan asher ani noten lechem la'achuza, which means when you come to the land of Israel, that I will give you as an inheritance, as a place to stay, which sounds like something very positive, coming towards something very positive. The continuation of the pasuk is, V'natati negat tzarat bebeit eretz achuzatchem. However, in this special land of Israel, you will have the opportunity to have what? Have a special type of disease. What's going on here? The whole pasuk started off in a positive way. And he's telling us that the land of Israel has a special type of disease. It's tzarat. Tzarat is a spiritual disease. How do we know it's a spiritual disease? Because you do not go to a doctor, you go to Kohen. And the Kohen gives this a spiritual answer. The spiritual answer is, it is tamei, it is tahor. He speaks in a language of spirituality, because Eretz Yisrael is a spiritual land. So Rashi tries to relate to the fact that the beginning of this pasuk starts positively, and then talks about a disease. So what's going on here? How could something positive be a disease? The answer is because when we came into the land, Rashi says, when we came into the land, so the Canaanites and the Amorites who lived here saw that we were coming, and they didn't want us to loot them. So what they did was they hid a lot of their gold and silver in the walls of their house. And for us, in order to find out exactly where they hid their gold and their silver, so we had tzarat, which caused us to break those walls and therefore find these fortunes. So actually, it is something positive. It seems like a disease, but it has a positive outcome. Sometimes we have diseases which have positive outcomes. And the amazing thing is that later on in the pasuk, when something like this does happen in your house, you have to go to the Kohen and you have to say, Kanega nir ali babayit. You don't say, I've got the disease. I've got something like the disease. You don't say it's the disease. Even if you are a medical expert and you know exactly the different types of this tzarat, you go to the Kohen and you have to say, only kenega, it's like a disease. What is this? Says of Kalman Kalmish from Pisetzne, Zecher Tzadik Livroch, Hashem Yikom Damo, was killed near Lublin in 1943 during the Holocaust. The great rabbi, and beforehand he lived in the ghetto, and he gave different divrei Torah in his ghetto. And one of the beautiful ideas he has on this week's parsha, it's in his book Eish Kodesh, which was found later. He has this beautiful idea, which is, he tells the people, just imagine him saying this in the ghetto, starving, to other people who are starving in terrible situations. He says, look, sometimes a disease is in order that we find a fortune. Who knows what fortune is waiting for us? It says it's 1943. Who knows what fortune is waiting for us? And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not only taken out of our house, he's taken us out of our shuls and out of our mikvahs and out of our schools and out of he's broken our body and broken our home. He's broken us so much. Oh, what fortunes must be waiting for us. That is the type of things he said to encourage the people in the ghetto. He didn't manage to be zoche, to see the state of Israel. But he says, Kenega, that's why it's only Kenega, it's only similar, Kaf HaDimyon. It's only similar. We also use this word, this letter, Kaf HaDimyon, in another pasuk which is relevant for this day, which is Shir HaMa'alot. B'shuv Hashem et Shivat Zion, Hayinu Kechovim. Reshit Tzmichat Gulateinu, starting to get to Eretz Yisrael, starting the Gula, hasn't got a reference in the Tanakh except for this one perek in Tehillim that says Shivat Zion, when we come back to Zion, what will be, how we will be Cholmim, as if we are dreaming. What does it mean? Either we're dreaming, we're not dreaming. What is Cholmim? What is Kaf Adimyon? What is Cholmim? So there are three Perushim I know. One is Ibn Ezra that says, wow, when we finally get back to the land of Israel and we settle the land, that's like a dream. It's beyond our imagination. The Radak, Rabbi David Kimchi, Rabbi Descendador, says the opposite. He says, when we come to the land of Israel and we settle the land, we look back at all the difficulties we had during the long diaspora, the long galut. It'll just be a bad dream. And then the Meiri says a third perush, which says, when the time comes, we won't get it. We'll be daydreaming, kacholmim, as if it's not really happening. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to wake up. We have to dream with our eyes open. This is really happening from my own balcony. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem, it's way beyond anything Rav Kalman Klamish from Piasetzner could ever imagine in his ghetto. It's an amazing reality we are at. And that's why today, Yom Ha'atzmaut is Chag Sameach, is a day of celebration, and Yitzhak Hashem will continue celebrating this ad biyad HaMashiach b'meira b'yameinu. Amen.